Hi, this is Bella Rachlin, and you're listening to the Marvel Cards Collectors Podcast.
Hello everybody, my name is Ian Taylor and welcome to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, brought to you by the Marvel Cards Fan Collective, an awesome community of card collectors and creators. You can find our two groups on Facebook, details of which are at the end of this fine podcast, so come check us out. With me as always is my co-pilot in all things Marvel cards. Someone once told him that an innuendo was an Italian suppository. It's Norrin Rad.
I knew that guy for about 6 months. It was on and off again. Not really into committing, but you know, it's okay.
I had to go slightly smutty there because it is.
Have to go smutty.
It is our 69th episode.
Honorary smut, yes.
Honorary smut.
Honorary
You see?
smut.
I love this. I love this. You may have noticed, folks, that 3 is the magic number, and we do have a third person on this week's podcast. I'm losing it already. Those who know him by hushed reputation. Those who've experienced him are lucky and haven't washed since. Introduce yourself, sir. Who are you?
Hi, my name is Bobby Nisivoccia. I am a Marvel card collector of a specific serial number that means a lot to me. I like to try to hashtag myself as Captain 69 so that you can use that query functionality of the hashtag whenever you're looking for stuff that I've posted or that I'm needing.
My goodness me, that could be the episode title right there.
Can't take you anywhere, man. This is amazing. This is fun. So here's the crazy part, right? So it's really the funniest thing about all this is that, someone could be like, oh, I just want to collect serial number 69 and blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. It's the amount of cards that are labeled serial number 69 that makes this even funnier. I'm just so ready to see this and talk about this collection.
Yeah, I am as well. So for those who are listening to this and thinking, hang on a minute, that sounds like Gregg Bobby. Who people will know you as on the Facebook group. So on MMC and on MCCW, any one of those guys listening will of course be like, this is perfect. Gregg Bobby on episode 69. And actually someone did suggest it. And I was like, you know what, that's genius. I said to Norrin, I said,
coincidence.
Yeah, you said, do you think this is a good idea? And Norrin's like, yeah, hell yeah, baby.
Yeah.
So
yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. The message that you sent me, Ian, I immediately screenshotted and sent to all my friends who aren't Marvel card collectors. And my wife, obviously.
Yeah. And did she now this is an important one, so we'll get this out of the way off the bat. Does she smile in a kind of there dear kind of way and just let you get on with it, or is she fully like involved in your like a willing accomplice, or somewhere in between?
It's somewhere in between, more on the there side, but she's very supportive. So while I was laying them all out today, so I'd have a good, accurate count of what I have, and that she said, after you're done, I'm going to have to take a peek at these because it's been a while. And wow. That's something she'll like to do. She loves the art, awesome. And a little cheeky smile that I have so many 69s.
Absolutely wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful.
So
How
funny
many do you have?
Yeah, that's a great question.
So the grand total, actually I did that this morning, comes to 86 with 2 in the mail. And those are over mostly Bianchi and Jesco Marvel Masterpieces, with a few from Fleer Ultra X-Men 18 and 19 Premiere. And actually right before this call, I got the first Palumbo.
Oh,
which is a What If Jean Grey.
Very nice.
Ooh, good one too.
Very
nice.
Good one first.
Wow. Starting early this time around. So
you're doing well.
You are doing well. So when did this first start? Paint a picture for us.
So basically, what happened was in December of 2018, sadly, my mom passed away. And so I was going through all of her stuff, and I found that she had saved all of my Marvel cards from when I was, like 12. And I was like, those are long gone. She threw those out years ago, because I'm 20 years later. So I was like, I love this. I went and I immediately completed like the Marvel Metal, the Fleer 94, any like little ones that I was missing, the original Fuxum, Fleer Ultra X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh no, your acronyms are good here, sir.
Good acronym, man.
Yes. One of my faves. And so then I found out, actually, mostly through your guys' group, that I joined looking for some of those older cards, that there were new cards. And Bianchi set had just come out. Justco set was already out and everybody loved it. So I looked at those, and I bought my first box of Fuxum and Marvel Masterpieces, and I opened them up and I was like, these are serial numbered? They're so thick. Oh my gosh, these are crazy. Yeah. And that was it. And from then on, I've had some like small goals. Like I have saved for Wolverine, which I'll work on Armand as much as I can. But I have all of the X-Men SSAs from 2018, which was a pain and expensive.
No kidding.
Yeah, but that is a really cool little small side collection that I was able to. I'm just going to say complete.
I think it's fair to say complete at this point.
Yeah. I got Phoenix, so that's the other tier 4 one that I have in mind, and Emma, Iceman, Cyclops, what have you. But from then on in, I bought maybe, let's say 12, 13 Fuxum boxes and 7 or 8 Marvel Masterpieces boxes. I cracked them. I've only ever cracked 2 69s, which were sort of iconic. So one of them was Phoenix from or Fuxum here, which the 69 out of 99 in gold, and hopefully this is coming through. It looks so good.
Beautiful. Yeah. Wow, what a card.
And the other one, we're going over here.
So I just want to describe what just happened, because the woo, it's making me laugh inside deeply. He has all of these cards that he's collected that are all serial number 69 across these multiple sets, as you've mentioned. And he had to roll down this long desk to get to the other end, kind of like a librarian looking through their collection. I just want to describ that for everyone, because it was beautiful. It's
like in a movie, if you see somebody that has a library
where someone's like on the ladder,
right?
Like,
and they have to scoot the ladder.
100%.
I found out early that there's something cool with these serial numbers, right? There's the last one, the Omega. There's the first one, the Alpha.
Yeah.
People are hot about those. I was like, that's cool. I get it, right? It's sweet to see 499 out of 499. But I was like, wait a minute, aren't there other cool numbers? Wait, yes, there are. And so I selected the coolest number, and I went with that. There are a couple of really good little caveats here with the 69, is that there are base, purple, orange, and what ifs, hollows, the speckle, right, and gold gallery. So those are the only subsets that 69s even occur in. So I don't have to worry about something so rare like a
That's brilliant. That's really brilliant, because you don't have to worry about the 25s or the 10s or the 5s, which are just, makes your wallet cry. At least this, you always have that kind of, like 100 is basically the lowest you're going.
Yep.
Wow, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that kind of just materialized for itself. I didn't even realize it until I was going for the X-Men SSAs. Like, oh my God, I hope I never have to do this again. And I won't ever do that again. Ever. So this has been quite the treat. And the oranges and the purples are nice, but you might not realize it right up front, but the bases are the hardest ones to get. And I got to say, this group, I definitely thought about this. I wanted to throw shout outs to anybody who's ever looked through their collection for me, because I started a little late, right? How annoying is that to go through not only your paged, maybe full sets, but then your longest boxes over and over because you've broken case after case.
I mean, I guess the good thing about this is that it must be just limited to very modern Upper Deck era cards, because I don't think anyone numbered that much at all for the older sets. I don't remember what they called Rittenhouse doing that at all.
No.
Well, you have the not to throw a wrench in your plan, because this is not it. I mean, you have the oh god, what is it called? The Marvel Universe, like the diamonds and the rubies and the emeralds. You know what I'm talking about, right, Ian?
Yes, the later sets of Rittenhouse did. Yeah, they did those.
Was that like 2008, 2010 timeline?
Yeah.
Gosh, I think so. Yeah.
But I don't think then. I think it's numbered to like. I think 50 is the highest one. I don't think they number above there.
Green goes to 100. I believe. Let me double check.
Oh, there we go. Right, he's gone. So there, yeah, you got something else to collect then. He's going to find some other rabbit.
I basically have stuck to these latest, starting with Jusco Marvel Masterpiece sets. Fucks them because that was like my favorite set when I was a kid. It's how I met who later became my best friend, who was like my best man at my wedding. So we would trade those cards back and forth. You know, I know we had Juggernaut and Apocalypse going back and forth. They're very Dave DeVries, but I'm not sure if he did those or not. But I mean, he has dope ones in that set. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And then I happened upon Venom and Emma Frost in Marvel Premiere, so I grabbed those.
I think the best part about it was that I remember when you first came on the group, on the scene, and you asked for it. Like, well, I'm going to do 69, so if anyone's got it. And I giggled so hard like I was back in middle school. I just fell out because I was like, this guy's a gem. I was falling out, and I thought it was the funniest thing. And I went through my extra stuff, and I was like, do I have anything this guy wants? And I think it was like wildfire for everyone, because everyone was like, let's build up the 69 collection and let's get this guy going.
And we were awesome. I think a few people looking at it thought, is this guy trolling? And everyone else just like you and me just went into it. I remember going through all my 2018, which I just about completed, looking for 69s for you. I didn't have any, regrettably, but I don't think I've collected any other numbered set. I mean, of course, at Fleer Ultra Spider-Man would have had the numbered PMGs. I think that's the only numbered element.
So that has actually come up a few times. I found some of those on ComC, and somebody actually has a Scorpion that they offered me, very nice in the group, like, hey, I have this. Isn't somebody looking for 69s? I just can't do it. I can't get down on that set. The medals are too weird. You know, they're really, really cartoony, even more so than the new Fuxum or the
some odd ones.
What would be cool is, I think, the Marvel Retro Reds. Some of those are really neat, and I would like to have some 69s of those. But those, I still am at 0 of those. Kind of hard to find.
Very hard to find. This is the set. I mean, obviously, this is not up your alley because you're more of a modern collector. But this is the green for this set. Of course, the example I have is Surfer, so sorry. But it's green foil. And actually, funny enough, I'm kind of close. I'm on 65 of 100. So almost your card.
Remember what set that is?
You know, it doesn't say on the back. It's Rittenhouse for sure. It's Marvel, and it doesn't tell me the year. So I'll have to go through my checklist. But
Let's see the back. Let's see the back. Hold it up. Hold it up. Let me have a look. It is. No, it's no good. I've got no clue.
Is it not there?
I've got no clue.
He's like, here, let me check it out. Yeah,
let me check it out. Yeah. No, that's not happening.
That might be enough to go off of, though. Marvel Rittenhouse green out of 100 to at least.
Yeah, you'll be able to find it. I think is that not Universe 2014?
It might be 2014.
That's what I want to say. You know what? I'm going to say it, and we can find out afterwards and edit in the correct answer.
Yes, there we go.
Which is within our purview to do. So you, before we started recording, you just said that you've moved from sunny Chicago to even sunnier but plague-ridden Florida. Again, carrying on the theme of virtually everyone we're talking to either being from or moving to Florida, or having spent considerable time there. And you are literally unpacking these from having moved, like, for this episode.
Yeah, I'm so lazy, which is why I appreciate people going through their collections for me, because I have a hard time doing that. And there's so coming from the Magic the Gathering world, right? I have so many cards, too many cards. And so I did just unpack these. Most of them are in the magnetic one touch in the bag, right? Some of them I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. I'd probably say like 20 out of the 90. So we'll get to that. But yeah, I just unpacked them today. The ones that I didn't have bags for the one touches, I wrapped them in saran wrap for the move. So this is about half of the saran wrap that I unraveled this morning.
Yeah. Coming to the intestines of a whale near you soon. It's just if people could see you. You're sat there with your kind of your archival gloves on, just holding the. He's like Al Jolson with his jazz hands, just there doing this. Perfect. And they're all laid out there. So I guess, are you actively looking, or is it just what pops up, or how does it work? I mean,
because hunting for this must be tough.
Oh, Jesus. It's so tough. So there are a couple of maneuvers that I like to do. One of them, which was the worst, which was going through ComC. And so that was going Marvel Masterpieces 2018 purple. Click on them. Go through every one that's offered. If something didn't have a serial number listed, you had to try and zoom into the picture.
Yeah. Turn around every time you want to see the number on ComC. That's great.
So I got a quick system of it where I'd have the Control F on the browser, 469, and then slash. That would pick up like 169, 269, so on and so forth, for the base stuff. But I ended up going through all of the Just Go base, What If, Orange and Purple, all of the Bianchi base, What If, Orange and Purple, and then the corollary sets, right? The gold and hollow foils that also have the 99 out of 99. Wow. So that took a really long time. And then I have saved searches on eBay, which if anybody doesn't know about, if you're looking for something specific, you got to have saved searches on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it's like an SSA or something. If you're going for something like a red or an SSA, and reds are probably going to sit up there for a second, honestly, because people always overprice them anyway. But it's kind of a little funny story. So about 15 minutes before this podcast, I bought the What If Jean Grey Palumbo. That was 69 because I was like, all right, I'll do some searching, just like what I was saying. Marvel 2020, put 69 in. If that doesn't work, you go Marvel 20 or Marvel Masterpieces 2020, and you start just going through where there's no serial number specifically listed in the title. Sometimes they'll have the background picture that you can flip over. Even rarer, they'll actually have that in the item description.
Yes.
A lot of people have lots, so I have to ask them, hey, can you look at these and turn them over for me and see if there's any 69s? I'll buy the whole thing if there's one in there, you know? And actually, probably the largest chunk of my collection, somewhere around 30, and mostly from Just Go, was from a guy on eBay, Spider-Man Superhero or 13 or Superman Spider-Hero. I think his name is Rick in the group. He's in the group. So he went through his entire collection for me, made a spreadsheet, and priced them all out. And I said, this is a good price. This is too high. This is good. This is too high. This is good. And we finally came to an arrangement, got to do it off eBay. eBay is great. eBay is great, but we needed a lot of communication there. There needed to be files transferred. And it saved him a little bit of money. So that was awesome. And, he went above and beyond for me for sure. I wouldn't be here without him.
You make him sound like your dad.
I don't think my dad knows that I collect 69 Marvel cards.
He'll be like, that's my boy. That's my boy.
All right. I'm actually heading back to Chicago this weekend, so I'll tell him, and I'll have to post the reaction
break the news
on the podcast.
Good work, son. Good work.
We'll do it as a episode. Greg comes out to his dad about collecting 69 cards. Perfect.
Well, this is the thing. This is what I find interesting. We've had because Masterpieces 2020 has dropped. So as we record, we are 3 days post. Mm-hmm. It's like those old 80s movies about nuclear war where they say 3 days post destruction, 4 days post destruction, and those really depressing ones like the day after and things like that. So you've got. I've lost my train of thought because I went nuclear war dramas from the 80s.
Oh, we're talking about 2020, right?
We're talking about Masterpieces 2020. Thank you for bringing me back. You're welcome, sir. That was like everyone stand clear, and he jolts me. 2020. A lot of people have come into the group over the past few days, and a lot of them are like, I simply don't understand what's going on. Why is it $250 for a box? Yeah. Why is it that you're not getting a full set? And Noah and I are actually going to have a probably an episode where we talk about this, but I want to touch on it now because you've kind of got that perspective in that although you've still been involved in cards with Magic, which I'll come on to because I want to talk about that. Sure. You've come back into it from having collected them in the 90s, and you're probably standing at the foot of Mount Olympus looking up going, what the actual, and I will beep this out, what the actual is going on? Because this is crazy. Because you used to be able to buy a box back in the day, in the good old days, as people still say, you could buy a box and you get other things. But it's actually, I was thinking about that, and much as I love it, I recently opened a box of Marvel Universe 1992, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And I've got the full set, and I've got some of the holograms, but I'm like, I've got it now. I'm just look at them for the next 20 years. At least with the modern sets, you do have that. That interest factor, and what I always say to people is don't think of it anymore in terms of acquiring everything, because you'll just drive yourself nuts and be living in a shopping cart eating ramen noodles or Norrin's leftover ramen noodles that he's chucked out.
Yeah, because I'm eating them all. I'm not sharing anymore. You've got to choose your own adventure. So what was it like for you before you got to the 69 kind of route? Up of Mount Olympus, I'm going to ascend the summit via this route 69. What was your kind of impression of what the hobby was when you came back to it and you saw the way that these premium masterpieces, especially sets, are structured? What was your take?
That's a great question, because you're right. You don't get the full set, and really, I kind of got back into it on Fuxum first, Fleer Ultra X-Men, Marvel Fleer Ultra X-Men, Marvel, whatever, I don't know, 18. And those boxes at that point were like $75, and they were super fun to open. They had 12, I think, packs in them, maybe a couple more, and they had 6 cards per pack. So it was really fun. Like I said, I got maybe 12 or 13 of those, and I just opened them with my wife. I think I live streamed a couple of them, and it was fun. And then I got to my first Marvel Masterpiece box, and it was like, okay, that was $120 at that point. Let's do three cards per pack for 12 packs. I remember the first box I ever opened, my purple was Phoenix, and I was like, oh my God, this is tier 4 purple. So I completely understand the non-full set mentality out of Marvel Upper Deck. I think it's gone a little far to that non-full set mentality. And this is from somebody who I now have full purple 2016, full purple 2018, full base, and like 3 cards short of gold SIG 2018. And there's one that I'm forgetting in there. I am a super completionist myself, which is nice. Is a nice break with the 69s, because I know that's not a completionist thing. I just get to get cool artifacts from that subset. Yeah. Right. But bringing it back to 2020 now, I didn't buy any. I didn't buy it all. I said, all right, I'm going to grab some 69s out of this. Some of the art, and I don't want to say to Dave Palumbo, was just not my style, right?
Fair enough.
Some of the other stuff, I was like, that's so cool. Like Ego's super cool. I love the Venom in the base set. The Wolverine holofoil I love. It really reminds me of that Fleer Ultra X-Men Dave DeVries with the claws coming at you.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm going to try and get a couple that I really like. But other than that, I won't really be on the completionist mindset. I'll get the couple that I really like. I don't really care if they're base purple or orange sort of thing, and hunt down 69s out of it. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I am not an E-Packs fan. I'm all physical for the most part. I think I bought like 4 or 5 E-Packs when I bought 25 boxes, of product.
Yeah.
I think that price point, it does lock some people out of even getting one,
Yeah, it's true. And it's really tough. And I think you're absolutely, correct in that there is a fatigue, right? There is an exhaustion that's currently happening with 2020 with not everybody, but I'm definitely with you on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because personally, I don't set collect. So like my worries for these modern sets and going from 90s to this, I've always been the surfer collector. Like I collect what I like and I look at cards, but at the end of the day, what I end up doing is I go through my collection and I'm very much like a box kind of guy. Like that's just me personally. You know what I mean? Like this, I love that everything fits in this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe a couple other boxes like the Pelican case. That is really
cool. I need a 69 one of those.
Dude, that'd be so cool. But like I'm just that kind of guy. I'm a cat. I like the little box thing. You know what I mean? But so when it comes to sets, I don't get too stressed out about having to complete it because I'm not that completionist, and it's rare. I think Ian's a completionist for sure. I know you are as well, and I think maybe 80% of the hobby are guys who are and women who complete sets. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm the norm personally. Yeah. But I do think there's an exhaustion that comes with Marvel Masterpieces, especially after 16. 16 was particularly rough, and the price point was particularly high. And then when you got to 18, everybody was prepared, got what they wanted, but it was still, it was a climb to do certain things. And I think that's where some people are for 2020. Like personally, me too. Like I'm like, do I want to do the PA set? I love it. I like the red. I think it'll look really cool, complete. But do I want to struggle and climb that hill again to do that kind of stuff? Or do I want to cherry pick, get what I like for sure, and then figure my way out? In terms of E-Pack, the only reason I really like E-Pack so much, preferably, is that I like the hustle. I like the hunt. So if I'm hustling on E-Pack, I can trade to whatever I want. You know what I mean?
When he goes into hunting mode, it's literally like having someone from the Bourne movies on your ass. This guy has done a webfoil rainbow in less than a week, and that is no small matter.
I had like a little chart. It was like people hated me, which is fine. I don't blame them at all for despising me after that because I went way too crazy. But it's just that with E-Pack, if I see something pulled, I know where it is. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like the whole like waiting on eBay or trying to travel someone, like luckily we have the group. Before we didn't, before Ian made the group and then I jumped on and it started taking off. To find cards was not happening.
Yeah, I don't even know how I would be able to do something like collect 69s without the groups, which have been amazing.
Same with the surfers. Like I wouldn't be able to be as far as I am unless I had people who were like looking out for me legit. Because you know what I mean? Like if most people who are pulling the most product, then you know what I mean? Like there's this beautiful little channel, a little whirlpool happening, you know what I mean? And we get lucky. But I agree, it's not so much the art of 2020 for me. It's just being tired. You know what I mean? And I'm not a set collector as it is. So that's really my opinion. That's where I'm at with it. I do think it's really nice. And I know people are excited. And I think that's what's been really fun is to see everyone go ham. Cracking boxes. I've
watched so many box breaks already.
So many. This has been like the week of box breaks. Ian, what do you think, brother? Where are you at?
Well, I've got a couple of things on the completionist side. That's really interesting. Because I didn't collect in the 90s. I have that mentality, but it doesn't come from trading cards. It just comes from me being a bit of a collector. I'll jump on different collecting trains over the years. You can tell by the number of PlayStation games I've got behind me. And I've, over the last kind of 5 years, and especially this year with lockdown, I've had to be like, okay, just focus a little bit and just keep what brings you joy. You don't have to own quite so much stuff, which is why I've just offloaded, almost half my comic collection, and I'm just focusing on the stuff that is kind of my core thing. So, but I get it, which is why I say, and I say it so often that I'm sure people are fed up with it, but I do say that these modern sets are a choose your own adventure, because it is such the perfect way to describe it. You don't have to drive yourself nuts or give yourself, more than anything else, because no one cares if you do or you don't. You don't have to give yourself the headache of choosing to go for a full 1 to 90 in What If, for example, which will cost you an awful lot of money for those last 9. You don't have to do that. But some people choose to. Absolutely fine. But just because you're someone who was able to complete sets in the 90s, and that kind of is a very comforting thing to you, and it's kind of how you're programmed as a collector. Because let's face it, a lot of those older people like myself who have come back into it are programmed that way, because it was something they did when they were children, when they were literally being programmed by the hobby and by what was being put out to them, because at the end of the day they're still being sold a product.
That UD probably, or it was Upper Deck back in the day, right?
No.
8, was it?
No, Upper Deck is about 30 years old, but they were completely sports for the first period, and their early entertainment cards, I believe, and I only know this from eBay searches, were things like there was a Ricky Martin set.
Ooh, how do I not have that?
Yeah, exactly.
A Ricky Martin set.
Yeah, I know. It comes up because I've got an eBay safe search. There we go, fans. There's a tip for you. It's like we set this up, isn't it?
You have the Ricky Martin saves?
No, I don't. Although, you know what? After this, I'm going to, just to see what comes up. No, I've got a search saved for Upper Deck in that category of Marvel trading cards, but for sellers in the UK, just to see what comes up, because some sellers don't list stuff under Marvel; they list stuff under Upper Deck. So you can't. It's one of the variations. Anyway. But no, it was Impel. Well, it's Comic Images Impel, which then became Skybox, which then became Fleer, and then that whole bubble burst, and they went tits up. And then it was Rittenhouse. Well, Topps did a little bit, and then it was Rittenhouse, and then Upper Deck kind of dovetailed with Rittenhouse, and they've now got the license. Anyway, potted history of trading cards for you. In the fatigue side of things, I think it's very interesting. I think that I've seen a couple of people on group say that they would be up for it, but for the fact that they feel that it is priced too high. Some people have, and there's a lot of collector frustration about this. Some people have been felt not cheated is the word, but they do feel enormous sense of frustration with the price point. And also, and this is the big thing, there are people who are prepared to spend that money, but simply cannot get access to the stock. Yeah. And that's been a really, really big deal. And in fact, that is the biggest thing. I would say the fact that it is such a limited product means there is always going to be a finite amount of it. And I don't know how much we're turning into a Masterpieces review episode here, but it's an interesting point because it's fresh in my mind, and people will want to hear our take on it on this platform. The simple answer is we don't know how much is held back for EPAC. The last 2 Masterpieces sets, it's been assumed, and I think this has been assumed in a fairly constructively done way, 50%. So some people have done some maths on it, and it's kind of like, okay, maybe fair enough. So there's a lot of people thinking that there's more being held back for EPAC this time. We simply don't know the answer. I don't.
We haven't found anything. There's not like a secret being held. I mean,
there's no secret source to that one. No. And then the other side of that is that people who have been willing to spend the money, because it's a limited product, effectively that money is going to the secondary market now, or not going to the card manufacturers at all, because people are ready to buy, but they can't. And outside of COVID affecting things, I'm not sure what's been done differently this time in terms of it, and it may be that people pre-ordered more, and so no one's allocations could be met because of the magic angle, because there's an awful lot of magic folk. Is there a collective noun for magic people, Greg?
Bob is my first name, but
Bob. Sorry. So I always get sorry because it's Gregg Bobby on the group.
I always think it's Gregg Bobby. So I was thinking about how I was like, he said Bob, so it's Bob.
Yeah,
and I was like,
know.
Don't say Greg.
There was Bob, and there was a second name with lots of syllables in, so I kind of missed the first part. Sorry. Apologies.
I'm sorry to derail you.
Bob.
My wife calls me Bobby. You guys can call me Bobby.
Bobby Niz. It says on my screen. So we're going to go with Bobby Niz. Okay. So. Is there a collective noun for Magic the Gathering collectors and fans?
So Magic is booming and has been booming for the last, 8 to 10 years, really hard. And they're reduced. They used to do maybe like 3 sets a year, like 3 to 4 sets a year, depending on how the months fell, right? And now they're just really hard scheduled. We're talking 3 to 4 sets a year, plus ancillary product in the spring, ancillary product in the summer, and ancillary product in the winter. And they're just pumping it out. But it's also being designed as a game, right? And so they've ramped up their R&D. They now pay professionals to test their new sets beforehand, so they're not making any broken stuff, which doesn't even work because they still do.
Right.
But it's a completely different world if you play the game like with your cards than Marvel, right? Marvel is you're looking at this awesome art, you're doing what Norrin is doing with the small box of sweet Silver Surfer stuff, or you're completing like a set. That doesn't really happen in Magic. Obviously, there are going to be people who complete sets that come out, but I can't say that I've ever met somebody who does that. You know, there are now more premium products. So I myself have been foiling out my decks, which, picture a regular card versus a hollow foil card in our space here. So I have cash out maybe 15 grand deck. If I eBayed it, took the time to piece it out, probably 20 to 25.
Wow.
And that's just like that's my baby,
Your baby,
that's like
your little
box.
baby. I love it.
I've been building since like 2013.
Wow.
So
that's so impressive. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean that's eBay hunting. That's going to big tournaments and bartering with stores to see if they'll have a super rare.
This is what I was going to ask, because I remember seeing you saying something about going to something in Vegas that was related to Magic.
Yes.
And in my head, I'm like, wow, okay, outside of San Diego Comic-Con, maybe New York and a few of the others, you don't really have that. Well, even those aren't specifically for the Marvel cards. Mm-hmm. And yet, what's this thing in Vegas that you went to?
So it was called Grand Prix Vegas. Before COVID, it was the biggest Grand Prix. I think there were somewhere around 3,000 players at the one that I went to. So that's a 2-day tournament with a final cut to top 8 after 2 days of Swiss, with a cut in the middle. So if you don't go 7-2 in the first day, then you don't make the second day at all.
I've no idea what you just said, but it sounds good. Carry on.
Well, yeah, it's a big Swiss tournament structure like you would have at a chess tournament or like.
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. Tournament or something.
I just never knew what it was called.
Winners play winners is basically what that tournament boils down to. And there are side events happening all over the place. So there's one big main tournament that a ton of people are there for. There's side events. There's booster drafts where you open new packs and make decks out of them with people that you sit at a table with and then play those people. And probably one of the most interesting things to you guys is there are the artists for Magic that set up booths there. They'll do alters on cards. They'll sign cards. There's even people selling original art for anywhere between $2,000 to $10,000.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I found out the original art for like Alpha and stuff is like $30K, something nuts. I couldn't believe it. That's crazy town. I couldn't believe that. That's amazing.
For the non-Magic players, Alpha, Beta, and Unlimited are the first 3 sets of Magic. Alpha and Beta, Black Border, they came out in 93 and 94. And that's where you're going to find like your Black Lotus, which if you're not familiar, is like the iconic Magic card. I think the highest selling Black Lotus went for like $110,000 or something. Still something to invest in. That is almost never gone down on an upward trend if you're looking to shell
crazy.
I have gotten out of the investment side of Magic, though. I used to. I have a couple of the Power 9, which, again, for non-Magic people is some of those Alpha Beta Unlimited cards that there are 9 of them, 6 of which are artifacts, meaning they don't have any colors of the 5 colors, and the other 3 are blue, which tells you how much blue was powerful out of the 5, red, white, blue, green, and black. And I have a couple of those artifacts just as an investment. There was an eBay coupon, and they looked real from a good seller, and it was like $100 off a $1,500 card. So I was like, all right, I'm in. But the problem with some of that is the exit strategy is hard and time consuming, right? I don't have time to go through my Magic collection and say, all right, this is $20. I bought it at $15. That's a 33% gain. Now let's go through selling it. My time is more valuable than that. So you, even in this hobby, right, you have to weigh that. If you're looking to do some investing on it, I wouldn't go with the small ticket stuff. You have to go with the high ticket stuff, and you're probably going to have to wait a few years if you want to make money and not be a super huge asshole and flip it immediately for 200%.
Yep.
Interesting.
So yeah, Magic is there. There's no completionist, but it's booming. There's online Magic called Magic Arena. Yeah.
So there's no collective noun for Magic fans. The reason I ask is because there've been a few characters from the Magic scene that have come into Marvel Masterpieces collectors because of Dave Palumbo and his lineage with Magic, and I love them. They all in a nice way. They're all a bit bonkers, in just a really enthusiastic kind of. The other ones. Bobby, you're a bit bonkers as well, but again in a nice way. I wouldn't have it any other way. And they bring to mind the Juggalos, the Insane Clown Posse Juggalo fan scene. It's the only thing I can equate to it so far, which is probably a little bit too severe. But I'd be dying to know what their kind of view on it is, because they're coming from a scene that's got so much product, so much lineage to it, big scale resale scene to it, lots of people heavily investing in it both personally and financially, and it is its own thing, far bigger from the sounds of it than the Marvel cards are, simply because it's been going consistently. And I imagine it's the same. I don't even know what company make it, but whoever came up with the idea, they're probably doing all right by now. But
it's Wizards of the Coast, which Hasbro bought out some years ago.
Oh wow, okay.
So technically Hasbro. So you'll see some like Transformers, My Little Pony crossover shit.
I saw the My Little Pony crossover stuff. That was pretty fun. Wow. I was cracking up.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So I'd be interested to know what some of those guys are making of the Marvel scene and of the kind of perception of and the way that people are reacting to 2020.
There was a great video unboxing where there was maybe 5 or 7 guys in this living room. It's posted on our group, and they're all cracking boxes.
That's someone.
Cases, and they're all Magic people. But I think it was really sweet, because it's I remember sitting with my friend. I mean, I didn't, I kept my friends small out of choice, and he doesn't. I was like, just one person. And we were cracking boxes and trading or whatever, and they were just looking at cards for the first time and getting into the hobby, and it was awesome to see that kind of grow. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it's not. I mean, Marvel and Magic. I mean, Magic first came out in what, 93? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So Marvel's been out longer. It's just not as limited as, the original Alpha Beta and all that kind of stuff that first started. So it's crazy to see how the two hobbies kind of have gone in different directions, and it's playable, right? So there's a little bit of a...
That's the big thing.
Yeah, it's playable.
I would say.
So there's different ways to approach it.
It's a lot easier, I would say, to get somebody into Magic than to get somebody into Marvel Masterpiece set. I've got many people into Magic. My next door neighbor actually comes over, and she is a super noob, and I've played for 20 years, and she plays with my wife and I, and it's super fun to see her discover the stack and interactions that you can do with instants and what have you. But the big part about Magic I always saw, and I get it sometimes now. I'm watching a video of somebody play Magic, and it's maybe not an optimal deck, but oh my God, look at that sweet, powerful effect that I can do. And the decks that I play are all, they're not fair. So I want to be making 7, for lack of a better word, money on turn 3, where that should be 3 on turn 3. Or I want to be drawing my whole deck and then casting all the spells in it on turn 5.
You're one of those guys.
I am one of those
counter.
He's a player.
It's funny that those kinds of decks don't usually play a ton of counter. It's maybe 3 to 4 just to protect the combo from other counter. I used to be a control player where you play kill spell, counter, wipe the board, and that just got a little boring. I want to be going, hey, I'm going to draw my whole deck and go down to negative life, but it's cool because I can't lose because of this card.
That's awesome. See, I love all that stuff. I mean, it was funny. The same thing happened to me, actually. So, my Bobby, who lives near me, is super into Magic, and he got me into Magic for maybe a year. And it was funny because we were at a card shop and we went to one of those tournaments because I wanted to try it out. And I grew up on Pokemon, and I grew up on a little bit of Magic.
Oh yeah.
And so I made a deck, did the whole thing or whatever, and we're at a card shop and we're opening packs in front of the guy, and I pull something and I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. And everyone's like, what is it? What is it? And it was just a common card, but I was looking at the art. So I was making it big because my background's Marvel, and they were all looking at me like,
what? Yeah.
That's really
I'm throwing that card out.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? That's in the 25-cent bin that's behind you, man. You can have 10 of those if you want. Go ahead and go get them. But it's just been really funny to see. Yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, I'm 6'5", so it looked even funnier. But trying to do that stuff was just ridiculous. But yeah, I love hearing about that, man. That's so cool about you going to Vegas and doing the card game and stuff like that. Crazy, crazy fun. So much fun.
There's one story that reminds me of. So local game stores, local card stores, LCS, LGS, right? That I'm sure some of you guys have. I haven't really found a great Marvel one in Chicago or Florida so far, but the one that we started playing Magic in Chicago, they had a great stock. It was actually we were spoiled on it, because then you go to somewhere else, be like, we don't have that, and we could go to ours, be like, hey, I need this random maybe $5 rare from 10 years ago. Got it? Yeah, I got that for you. And so my buddies are in there, and the guy behind the counter is helping out a little kid. And he goes, do you have any Sagu Maulers? Which is some crap rare that I couldn't offload 100 if I wanted to. And the guy behind the counter with my friends in tow just goes, as many as you need, bud.
It's all yours.
Yeah.
You're like Scrooge McDuck diving into the hole, baby. Don't worry. It's all here for you. Oh, gosh. Yep, that's exactly. So me and that little kid had a shared experience. That's good. That's good. Very similar. Thank you for that, Bobby. Appreciate that.
The only thing in there I can relate to is the pulling something, which the last thing I pulled was my hamstring, but we'll move on. So do you venture into... Because I know we had a really good conversation about Marvel Masterpieces 2020 then, which we'll probably come back to, and we'll definitely do another episode because I want to do a set review episode, but I haven't. It's still unfolding, literally in front of our eyes. I mean, there's people that I know haven't slept in 3 days. Yeah,
people have been checking eBay. I'm sure Bobby's been doing it with me too. I mean,
yeah, I've refreshed eBay 6 times in the last half an hour. I'm waiting.
How dare you?
I'm waiting for the second. I missed a Black Cat Metallurgy. It was the alpha as well, and I put in an offer on it, and the guy didn't even counter. But I put in an offer on it, and it went for $15 above what I'd offered. It's like if he'd countered, I'd have, Anyway, it is what it is. He probably had a load of offers and he just took the highest one, but still, it hurts. But there are 24 more of them out there, so I will be fine. It's just they haven't been listed on eBay yet. So do you venture anywhere into just cards that happen to be numbered 69? Does that have any appeal to you? Can you see yourself ever owning
That's a good question. So for the historic Route 69, right up the mountain, right? There are some 69s on cards, right? There are 169 and 269s, and there are 96s, and there are number 69. One of which is
that's getting a
Emma
bit thin
Frost.
there. I was going to say you want to stay just on 69, but it's
Just do serial numbers, man.
Yeah. So there's one time where I did try to venture out, and it was the red Spectrum Dr. Octopus from Bianchi, right?
Oh,
and that is the number 69 card of the set. And I lost the auction, and I was bidding high on that. And that would have been just an honorary 69, one of one, that I would have accepted. But otherwise, I do not care about the number of the card, or if 69 appears somewhere in the serial number. You just get too loose with that. And then how do you sort that? I can't sort these now.
No, of course not.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. How do you, because they're all laid out on your table there, but how do you store them? I mean, no one's got his Pelican box, but from the looks of what you've got there, I think that'd fill that Pelican case quite nicely, what you've got there.
So if you give me 2 seconds of dead time, I can go show you how I do it.
I'm more than happy to do that. We can edit that
take
out.
your time, brother.
Yes.
I will be happy to edit this.
Well, Noreen, we could edit it, or we could just do some hold music.
Oh, what? Hit it, Ian.
I think people are fast forwarding through this bit. I think they fast forwarded through this bit. I think they might have done. They might have done.
Oh, I love
he's
those
back.
boxes.
He's back. Stop talking
Archive
about it.
boxes, baby.
Yes, so these are the Ultimate Guard archive boxes.
Oh, I have seen those, yes.
Yeah, they will fit nicely, bagged and top-loaded guys laying down. And you kind of got to push them in there. If they're bagged, you can stand them up like this as well. And so these have been working really, really well. I have to get more, but this is basically my 69s, and I have purple and pink. So I need some other sexy color to go with these. Probably just double these. I don't know.
Be like a shag carpet, or
I'm
like.
so tempted to tell a really rude joke right now, but I'm not going to.
If those colors don't inspire you to think that there's a mirror on the ceiling, then you've gone with the color. Like that's that. My dad, when he was younger, he got a car, an old not a Corvette, like a Cadillac, and he had like a pink, red kind of interior thing, super slutty color. But it was Miami in the 80s, so it just makes sense. Go ahead.
Can I tell a really dirty joke?
No, you should not tell a really dirty joke. We're already doing such a dirty episode.
We are doing a slightly.
If we had a Patreon, we should definitely do a dirty joke.
We should definitely do a dirty joke. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. You know what?
Yes.
I'm going to tell the joke, and Noah, you're going to put some music over it, and we'll just cut to us laughing after the end of it, because I want to tell the joke just for you guys right now.
I love it.
What's the difference between pink and purple?
Oh God.
I don't know.
The grip.
I need an explanation. I'm too dumb.
Oh dear. Let's. Well, no, actually, Chris Evans. You know, have you seen Chris Evans trending on Twitter in the past 24 hours?
Is that Cap?
Yeah.
Cap. Yeah.
Have you heard about this?
No. What's he doing?
Accidentally Instagrammed a nude of his mini cap.
From what I'm hearing, it's not mini.
It's not mini. It's the kind of thing that blocks out the sun.
That's my America.
We'll edit this out. Anyway, that's my way of saying that's
We're gonna
what the
edit
grip.
that out.
That's what the grip relates to. Anyway,
Captain Captain.
This is card 69 from Marvel Universe. That's America's dick right there. Is the best meme I've seen right now. Yeah.
Focus on the wrong end.
I think I can help you guys out with a little Marvel Premiere 69 America's
Captain
dick.
America. There we go. We have so this is just card numbered 69, so it's not serial numbered, so there's obviously not the only one of those, but that's Marvel Universe 1992, but it's Starhawk. I guess this is where I'm going. Is there a card numbered serial 69 that you've seen, but because of the character you've just been like,
Definitely. So I don't know all of the Marvel characters. I'm an X-Men, and I grew up on Spider-Man. I like X-Men a little bit better. But there's one from Marvel Premiere, actually, that comes to mind. And here we go. Grandmaster. I, to this day, have no idea who this is. But somebody messaged me and said, I have the Grandmaster 69 that I'll sell to you for like $15. Do you want it? And I was like, you know what? You took the time to go and grab this for me. You know who I am. You went out of your way to message me and offer it. Yes, please. That's fine.
Yeah, and $5 of the value is just the fact they took the time to do that. Because
no kidding.
Have you seen the MCU movies?
Yeah, I don't think I missed one except for Captain Marvel, because Brie Larson was just doing all that SJW. And you already pre-ruined the movie for me, so I was just. Oh,
okay. Fair enough. But Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
That's
Jeff
Goldblum's
Thor
Ragnarok.
Yeah,
that's Grandmaster.
There we go. So all of a sudden, that card is now your new favourite.
I love it now. That is fair.
There we go. You've got Jeff Goldblum in your hand. Everyone is.
I'm going to take the tape off this.
Newfound pleasure.
There's one more thing that I wanted to touch on with the 69s, and I don't know if I mentioned this with everybody just being so awesome in the community, is that a lot of people will be like, hey, if you can replace it, that's enough for me. Like, I know one of my first big 69s was Thor Purple from 2018, which is a tier 4 69 from Alan Michael. And we were just doing a big trade otherwise. And he was like, hey, I actually have this too, if you can replace it. So, if you're doing a trade and throwing it in, that's no big deal. But I've had people like find them for me, and I'll say, listen, I'll pay all of your shipping costs and all of my shipping costs. Really, all you have to do is go through the work of sending me the card, and thank you so much.
Well, it occurs to me, I started on a purple set since which I haven't finished actually. I'm probably about maybe 2/3 of the way through my purple set from 2018, and I've never checked that. So right now, as we talk, I'm going to be flipping through my binder, which makes fantastic listening for people.
That is.
And I'm going to be seeing if, and some of these are on ComC as well. So when we're off air, not on ComC, on EPAC. So when we're off air, I will go through my EPACs and do the whole flipping thing for you as well. But I'm just having a look through here, and it's all there. So I've got a 99 one here, and I've got 006. I never look at the serial numbers. I literally don't, unless it's because some of the black cats that I've got are like number to 10, and then I might kind of look at them. But generally speaking, I don't. For me, it's about owning the card and having that. 67. I was close.
Damn it!
I was close.
That has to hurt the most, being a 69 collector.
Yeah,
when people
you really have to.
68.
It's like stock trading. You have to take the emotion out of it. When you see like a 64 or a 70 or something, you have to be like, listen, it's a one of that has nothing to do with the next one. They're mutually exclusive completely.
Yeah.
Take the emotion out of it. I love it.
If you were a number 48,
you have to be cold, just focused.
Yeah.
Don't let it get you hyped, man. I love that. It's so true. It's so funny too, because it's so much with the surfer stuff too, like hunting down things and asking people like, yeah, I have it. I'm like, oh, awesome. What would you do to trade with it? Oh, I really love it. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, it happens.
Thankfully, people are not they're not as tied to the 69, so they're usually open for either like a bump in price on what another number would normally be, or just the replacement, or like a in your favor trade, which I don't care, right?
Yeah, of course.
In my tier 4 purple, and in some people will probably think, oh, I need that translating. But in my tier 4 purple, I have two number 48s, strangely enough, Captain Marvel and Iron Man. So if there's any number 48 collectors out there, what are the odds? I know, exactly, in my 9 card. That's my... a lot of people refer to the purple parallel as the poor man's purple, because it's a good way for people to do the tier 4.
Yeah,
it's certainly the way I've approached it. Although going back now to do that for 2016, I think would be absolutely bonkers. And
it's actually my favorite color.
I didn't dig when I first got 2016. I opened 3 boxes of 2016, and to this day, I'm looking back and I wish I knew now what I knew then, because I simply didn't understand what I was seeing. I simply didn't appreciate what it was. I didn't appreciate the value in it. I did some trades with someone for a lot of it that now would definitely have been undertraded, but at the time I actually got fair value for. I mean, I got a lot of stuff for the stuff that I traded, including finishing my writer's autograph set from 2018, from 2008 rather. A lot of Marvel Masterpieces 95, some 96. Do you know what I mean? So I did all right. But
well, I mean, I'm sure you did, man. You're good on trades. You're always been good at that.
Yeah, and it's and it was with someone who's been collecting for years. He's in the groups, but he's not active. A guy called Windfrog. It's such a good name, isn't it?
It was a good name.
Yeah, but he used to go by Bad Frog on Scoundrel forums. So you before we, I think it was before we started, I asked you if you do sketches, and so do you touch on those at all?
So I don't really go out of my way. I still have the first sketch that I ever pulled, which is really fun. It's this Iceman by Arturo Ramirez and Daniel Benitez.
Wow, a jam card.
So that's a pretty cool one. I really like it. Awesome.
Brandon Bennett will give that a loving home if you ever needed him to.
I think I can't part with that, as it's the first one I ever opened. My wife was there and we freaked out. Other than that, I've done some APs, which have been great. This one is Bella Carnage.
Bella's great.
Bella Rashlin, yes.
Yeah. So she was awesome to work with. Very reasonably priced for such beautiful artwork as well. For my Marvel Premiere Rainbows, I got these two from Bill Mouse, which I really like his style, and I would have to say he's underpriced. Bill, I'm coming back to you, so don't raise your prices because I said that.
We can edit that out as well.
We can hide the Bill prices.
These are super neat, and we kind of have a little theme going here.
Yeah, I love that. But I love when artists do that, man, where they have like a complete theme and style to every character, and it has like a nice uniform look.
Oh yeah, and like I was like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. He's like, that sounds super cool, so I'm gonna do it for you. And then the coup de grace for sure is the Charlie Cody Emma Frost sketch card from 2018, and here's the actual card.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that's probably one of my top 5 favorite Codys I've ever seen.
Yeah, Justin Kane tried to get this off of me, probably the hardest ever. I think he offered me cash plus a bunch of cash over what I paid for it, plus a bunch of 2016 SSAs like Wolverine and stuff. And I was just like, no.
Good for you. Good for you, mate. That's smart.
It came with the preliminary sketch, right, that I showed first, and this dope box.
Oh wow!
Honestly, man, that's I love. I love Charlie. Charlie and his wife Cody. They're really sweet people, and they're just good people. Honestly, man, like I'm not kidding you, man. Seriously, that's literally top 10 of the best Emma Frost I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is my personal favorite.
Very nice, man. Beautiful piece.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We did talk about which artist to put at the front of this episode.
Yes,
and we don't unfortunately have an intro from Charlie, but we do have one from Bella Rashlin.
Ooh!
So why don't we pop Bella's intro at the top of this episode, which means that we can give her another shout out and tell people to go and check out her stuff. Because if you AP from Bella, she sends a rather nice package similar to the one I saw from Charlie.
Her package was awesome as well. Some really cool prints of hers, a little love note. Thank you, Bella.
Oh, nice.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No. I love it when artists do that. It just makes the AP process that much more special. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. And the APs from Bill are awesome too. He didn't send like a love note to me.
It was in the drawings. It's in the artwork. The love notes.
I'm sure he will once he hears this.
I gotta send that guy a Christmas letter or something.
You owe me 2 steamy letters, Bill.
Very descriptive, Bill. I'm hoping for you, brother.
Oh Jesus. So Yeah, I also have some comic sketches. I've been doing some comic sketches I went to C2E2 and said, hey, I have some blank sketches. I got some Emmas. I got Emma Carnageized, which I don't have just on me right now, but cool. I do like sketches, but I'm really particular. So like, here is my pile of sketches. I maybe have 20 in here, and some of them are like Rocket, that's fine, or Abomination, that's actually really well done by, I think, this is Baker. But like Lady Sif, like a cartoon, I can't.
No, I'm very picky on my sketches, extremely picky. I'm the same way. I only have maybe I have under 70 or 60 sketches.
Oh, yeah.
Same. I'm the same way.
Yeah. No. So I love the APs. I love working with the artists if they're cool to work with. I've had some horror stories out of the comics for sure. Some really, really good ones out of the comics. And then basically everybody that I've worked with on Marvel cards themselves has been stellar. Charlie and his wife, Bella, and then Bill Mouse.
Yeah. Cool. Those are great, man. Cool. Thank you for sharing that, man. Those cards are beautiful.
That's a fine set of artists. What we will do, Bobby, after this, I will, if I can remember, I will ask you for pictures of some of these so that we can put them on the show notes so that people can see them, because we always do that just so that people can see what's going on. So I chuckled during the middle of this because I just glanced at my Facebook because it's pinging away because people are posting in the group all the time.
Right.
Marvel Masterpieces 2020. And Dave Palumbo has just shared wonderfully. It's one of the pieces that he's keeping from Marvel Masterpieces 2020, and it is, as we thought, the Pip the Troll.
I knew it.
Remember, he referenced
that was his favorite one, right?
That was his favorite. I spent way too much time on that.
He spent way too much time on that. There's reference shoots referred to here. My goodness, I'd love to see those. And he's posted the director's cut version. The gaming cards and chips didn't fly with the licenser. So what is up now is the one without the stuff that was taken out to satisfy the license, i.e. Marvel, and it is astonishing. So you can check that out. He's put it on his Instagram, I think. So you can check that out, but I will put that into the tasting notes as well. Pip the Troll. I honestly, when I saw, because we'd only seen maybe, when we spoke to Dave, we'd seen maybe 10% of the art, and in the week leading up to the set release, we saw maybe about another 10% of the art, and then all of a sudden, we did that box break, and we're looking at stuff we've never seen. I mean, the Thanos was, but I think one of the first cards you pulled was Pip the Troll.
Yeah, twice. We got both the what if and the base. It was hilarious. And we were falling out because Dave had just told us in the interview, I made it on a huge canvas. No one's going to want this thing, but I love it. And it means so much to me. And he was like, I needed this fun in my life. And we were cracking up. Yeah. So we were cracking up. It was so much fun to see that card because I'm so glad. Like, we didn't pull anything like crazy, even though Ian got a great sketch. And I got the 3 prelim arts inserts, which is crazy to get 3 in one box.
Get 2 in one pack?
Yeah,
2 in the last pack. 2 in a pack and 3 in the box.
I remember seeing that. That was crazy.
That was nuts. And that's, what I always thought about collecting for the set. So it was just nice that it worked out that, we got such nice cards. But it was really fun to see Pip the Troll in there because it's just so relevant to the interview. Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
And I think you got 2 purples. I had no idea that
character existed.
Did I get 2 purples?
I think we did. No, because I think I got the Deadpool, and I think you got Daredevil Orange. That's it. You got Daredevil Orange. I remember now. One of the things that this set is interesting to me and it's challenging for me, which kind of relates to the question about if there's a character that you just wouldn't, you would be like, is that so many characters from this set are deep cuts.
Oh yeah.
And the artwork is just like, okay, if that's my first exposure to that character, I'm seriously interested in finding a little bit more about them, which is what Bianchi did in quite a few cards for 2018. Is I saw characters in there. I was like, I didn't really know of Wonder Man before 2018, even though he's been around in the Avengers since the 60s. But I was never an Avengers guy coming up. I was Spidey and Daredevil. So I'd never seen Wonder Man, and now I've pretty much got the rainbow for 2018. So.
Well, he brought for being an X-Men collector, right? He brought back Boom Boom, which is pretty fun.
Yes. Yeah, I just saw that for the first time. I missed it in the checklist.
Yes,
and then I saw it on eBay, and I was like, "This can't be right." I didn't see that.
Yeah, me too. I was like, "Boom Boom, that's nuts!" And I think that's pretty.
I'm gonna need 69s of Boom Boom.
You get Boom Boom, man. That's classic. Classic character name. She would be a good character mascot for a 69 serial number just because the name is Boom Boom.
Agreed. So she also has one, and one that I probably want a little more in the Fuxum set.
Fuxum. I love that card.
Yeah, that one is really cool. I have the red auto of it, but a 69 gold would just, my heart.
The one card I got from Fuxum that I'm enamored with the art. Like, I'd love to get a pack pooled sketch card. That one I would really like is of Moonstar. She's just so pretty in that set. Is it Moonstar?
Yes.
No, am I Moonstar? Yeah.
That's Moonstar Demon Bear.
Yeah.
You put them together, right?
Yeah, Demon Bear. But it's just done by the Star Wars artist Brian Rod. And I don't know, man. I fell in love with. Yeah, so good. I love this.
I'm seeing your shirt here for the first time. We watched the Ghostbusters duology last night.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
man, I've been collecting Ghostbuster stuff for a long. I love Ghostbuster stuff so much. I got my
This is where you get into the weeds, where you find out our other collections, right?
Oh no, that's, my daughter loves the Ghostbusters song, but I'm nowhere near showing her that she's 5. If she watched the film right now, she'd have nightmares, and we'd be in therapy. So we can't do that. Well, last year she got really into Halloween decorations in the shops, so much so that she started having bad dreams. But this year, as soon as we saw them up in the shops yesterday, we had to go over to a local shop here with our maskies on, and she calls them maskies, and we had to go and look at all the Halloween decorations, and she has to push the button to make them all go and do all the stuff. And we just spent like half an hour. It's childcare. It's brilliant. You just take her into the Halloween display, and she's there, and she'll be exactly the same for Christmas. But Ghostbusters, she's. I can't wait for her to be able to old enough to be able to see Ghostbusters. She's still in Disney cartoons at the moment, but
I mean, I'm catching stuff now. I saw it when I was a little kid, and I'm still catching stuff that, oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
When Rick Moranis is throwing his client party, and the two walk in, and he goes,
I love it.
She's collecting income off a deferred bonus from 2 years ago, and they got $15,000 left on the house at 8%, so they're good. And he's just yelling this throughout the party,
and it just leaves them to it. I love how you got that almost verbatim as well. That's brilliant.
That was awesome.
Can I just ask for your thoughts? And we've already got quite a lot of beeps for this episode, so I need to ask that you keep. No, that's fine. It's just I predict that there could be beeping. The reboot from a couple of years ago.
I refuse to watch it.
Okay.
I refuse to watch it. And then my wife yesterday was like, "Did we ever see that?" And I was like, "No."
Okay. And will you be watching the official next Ghostbusters movie that's coming out in well it is, because it's carrying on it's Reitman's son, so it is actually carrying on with the original Ecto, so it takes place in the same Ghostbusters verse as the first two, and it is supposed to be
sadly we lost Ramis 5 or 6 years back, right?
Yeah.
So is Dan Aykroyd writing that at all, or maybe gets an EP credit, doesn't have to do shit?
I don't know. I believe they are something to do with it, because it is Reitman. So, and I think Bill Murray's in there as well somewhere. So yes, I believe
one also was actual connected to Ghostbuster, like Bill Murray. Everybody's in the first one too. And you have to understand, at the time when first Ghostbusters came out, what you looked at was the original cast for SNL, which were the funniest people at the time, which was Bill Murray and everybody else. And John Belushi was supposed to be a Ghostbuster as well, but wasn't. And what they did with the reboot was they had the funniest comedians at SNL, which is 100% true. If you watch Bridesmaid and any of these other pieces,
Bridesmaids is funny.
They're brilliant.
And I love,
you know what I mean?
I love that those performers in their other things.
Yeah, that Ghostbuster was actually, I saw it. It's actually very good. It's not a bad Ghostbusters at all. You have to remember that Ghostbusters itself is very much conscious that kids are watching it. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's very conscious that, especially you can see with the ending. You know what I mean? I think there are some problems with it for sure, but I think it was, it was a good Ghostbuster. It was something for the time, for sure. Yeah, personally.
Nah.
No, I just had to say I just felt bad. I didn't want to like not say that it was.
No.
It's like,
Yeah,
no,
no.
it's good.
Hemsworth was a revelation, but yeah, Hemsworth.
Thor.
I quite like my other guilty 80s movie pleasure is Crocodile Dundee, and I even go as far as the third one.
I haven't seen any of those since I was 18. It's got to be 14 years ago.
Yeah. And Paul Hogan has just done a vanity project fourth one, which is kind of semi-autobiographical in that it's also him, and he's kind of in his 80s now, so I think it is quite. I think it's going to be an embarrassment, but I've still got it ready to watch.
Have you guys, speaking of movies and the fact that we collect these pieces of cardboard and foam board or whatever, have you guys seen New Mutants yet?
No.
It's not out over here.
It's awesome.
Is it awesome? Oh, good. I'm excited.
So the last Marvel movie we saw in theaters was Dark Phoenix, which by the end we were laughing at, especially because I had just read the original saga. And I was like, no, don't say it. Don't say it. Oh, my emotions do make me strong. No.
It was bad, man.
And it was just like, it hurt my heart. But then New Mutants, some awesome characters. If you've seen the previews, obviously you know Magic, obviously you know Moonstar. I'm not going to spoil anything else because I can't really remember the preview, but it was it was a little bit kind of a horror genre. There's a really cool giveaway to future X-Men stuff, which I'm so excited about it that I can't say anything because it'll ruin.
Yeah, please don't, because I love to go into a cold. So that.
And my wife, we went to the theater to see it when they kind of reopened with social distancing last weekend, I think, and she got a little scared at some points because it's got like this sort of dark vibe to it, whereas Dark Phoenix should have had that dark vibe, but it was just funny.
The one redeeming thing about Dark Phoenix, apart from Fassbender, because Fassbender, as far as I'm concerned,
he's perfect, obviously.
and I'd be happy. I'd be happy watching him read the phone book because he's just brilliant.
Dramatic, right?
Maybe he will one day.
Oh God, he's by the G's. Here we go, baby.
He's Dazzler. Dazzler is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, not just a background kind of thing going on, but it's like, more power to you.
The fight scene outside of the building when they're in the city street with Beast hopping around and Cyclops blowing stuff up, I thought that was a really, really good part of that movie. But fight scenes are not story.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's crazy, but like the X-Men animated series has some really great story in there, and I think when Days of Future Past came out, I was just waiting for that Sentinel scene, and I was like, all right, baby, they have the X-Men animated series, they have a good roadmap, they know what to do, and then it was just lackluster. It's like whenever you get like a giant character in a Marvel movie, either he becomes a cloud or he's imaginary. You know what I mean? And yes, I'm a little sore from the Silver Surfer. I'm a little biased. This is true. But, for future reference, if we're going to have giants, let's just say we have giants. There are people throwing shields around, claws coming out of people's hands. I think we can just all believe it now. We're okay. We're grown-ups. We can all agree that it's going to happen.
You can build a master mold. You can put them
Why not? Let's get crazy. Yeah. No, but I'm so glad to hear about New Mutants, so that sounds really awesome.
I really enjoyed it. Obviously, there's a little bit of Marvel cheese, but at that point, I was like, "Yeah, Marvel cheese!"
I think I have to say, after being in lockdown for so long, I'm sure that probably made the event even more enjoyable.
Yeah,
social distancing.
I'm probably a little bit biased because we haven't gotten to go for 6 months, 7 months. So
I just saw paint dry on the wall. It was so so different.
I'm in this little office here, and I'm still kind of unpacking the collectibles. I just went through, as you can see behind me, the big stack. That is common and uncommon non-foil magic cards that were mixed in with rares that I had to separate out. And so now I got to figure out what to do with those. I have 4 or 5 20,000 boxes that are like 4 of the 5,000 rows, and those are all full. And they're alphabetically sorted too, by converted mana cost or color, converted mana cost, alphabet in that order.
You're like next level, man. That's nuts. That's amazing.
Yeah, but if I ever need any random common from 20 years ago, I can go find it. I don't have to look through 20,000 cards.
Wow, yeah, there is that. Yeah, cataloging and keeping your collection tidy when it's that big is, well, I can attest to that being a challenge. Norrin doesn't have that.
I can't. I'm like, nope. Wait, something's out of place. Hold on. No, I just put it back. It's okay.
How on earth do you even do that?
What do you mean?
Keep it so trimmed down? I mean, even my Marvel cards now, after 2 years of collecting, have 6 binders, a couple of long boxes of the gold SIGs that I got doubles and triples and quadruples of,
Well, it was funny. I was talking to somebody else recently. I think it was Matt Fuller, who's super nice. And I was, awesome. Super nice guy. And I was talking to him, and he was asking about the X-Men sketch cards, something like that. And I was like, what's your end goal for this? What are you hoping to do for your X-Men collection? He was like, I'm just collecting what I like. And in my head, I was like, oh my God, I overthink this.
What is your end?
Psychotic. What is wrong with me? This is supposed to be fun.
Thing is, if they stopped making Marvel trading cards tomorrow and that was it, like shut us down, they never make any again ever in my lifetime, I would still be happily collecting Marvel trading cards for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah,
because there's that much out there, So,
Ian's mentions this a couple of times, and it's been on the show. Like, choose your own adventure. For me, when it comes to like collecting modern Marvel cards, to bring it all back to start wrapping up, because I know we're going and going. I don't want to take all your time, Bobby. It is choose your own adventure, and I think that's kind of the really fun part about modern Marvel collecting is that you do get to have a choice in what you collect. Because at the end of the day, like, we can all romanticize about getting a box and getting the full collection, but that's the end of the adventure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In a weird way. And not to say that's wrong or right or better or worse or whatever, but I do think there are benefits to having the hunt. It's frustrating and it's exhausting, but there are some benefits to it for sure. But for me, the Surfer collection, I have to keep it tidy. Otherwise I get nervous. I don't know what's wrong with me.
They bring back the Surfer into our cards here. What the heck?
Hopefully, I've caught up now. I feel pretty confident that if he came back, I'd be able to keep up. That I won't have to go like deep diving for older stuff. That has been a benefit of collecting a band character, is that I have the last couple of years catching up, which has been nice.
Then you have some buffer time before you need an SSA, a What If Auto, a Red Spectrum, a plate, or 4 plates, or whatever.
It's true, but I mean, that's kind of, in a weird way, maybe that's what they're doing with the tier 4 character selection, like changing it up or whatever, giving people like a break, because then you can collect a tier 4 Spider-Man from 2020 that's not tier 4 price, and you don't have to like, because like that's tough. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just thought about that now, but it can be difficult.
There are a couple of end goals that I like to have, and I think of them as rainbows of 69. So that's base, What If, orange and purple, and then where possible, the gold gallery. And I'm very close with one character, and that's Magneto from Bianchi. So the gold 69 on this just looks too good.
But the gallery, because you have the gold border. Oh, that's beautiful.
Right? I have the base, and I have the orange of Magneto, and the gold gallery. So I need What If and purple, and I haven't been able to track those down. So if anybody listens all the way to the end here, let me get those. And
then you'll have your 69 bow.
It'll be a 69 bow. I'll have to show my life. See what I did without you. with my friends online.
Oh my goodness me! Can you imagine?
I love it.
I think we should probably circle this into land. Bobby, thank you for coming on and spending a little bit of your Sunday morning with us.
Well,
So just a reminder, folks. Bella Rachlin will pop her links to her feeds and where you can find her online in the tasting notes. Do go and check her work out and get an AP from her, because you will not, I repeat, not be disappointing. And Bobby just nodded his head so fast he almost headbutted the camera. Just a bit of housekeeping. We do have a YouTube channel. We don't put every episode up on the YouTube channel because A, they're quite long, and B, some of them are just audio, which is fine, which is our primary format. But we do put stuff on our YouTube channel. So please go check it out. We are now just over 200 subscribers. Norrin's done a couple of giveaways to kind of boost people to go there. But do check it out. It really helps us out if you like, share, and subscribe to any aspect of what we do, be it YouTube, be it Twitter, be it Instagram, be it the Facebook page. If you like and leave us a review there or on iTunes, all of that stuff helps. Just gives us a little bit more cut through in terms of SEO and in terms of visibility, and just makes us feel good about stuff.
I love that, actually. Yeah.
It does.
It's the perfect episode for just making you feel good.
So, on that note, Bobby, you know how we sign off our episodes. Would you like to take us out?
Yes. Thank you, everybody, and enjoy collecting.
Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. Visuals and tasting notes for each episode can be found on our Facebook page. You can subscribe and leave us a voicemail via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Please take a second to subscribe, like, and review our show wherever you get your podcasts. Our podcast can be found by Googling at the MCC Pod, which will also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Our Facebook community is at MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists, and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby but a fun one. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting. And what comes after 69?
Nothing.
Mouthwash.
You're my hero. Ew. What?
Oh, God, it's so messy. I got the gloves on.
Oh, my goodness me. There we go. I'll leave it up to you as to where we edit that one, Norrin.
Thank you. I'll be happy to make that decision for us. Because it just ended.
Oh, my goodness me.